Every NFL player, from the defending MVP Lamar Jackson to the third-string running back on the worst NFL team, has some sort of expectations going into the 2020 season. While expectations vary from player to player, the end goal for every team is, at the end of the day, to win a Super Bowl. The teams that drafted in the top 10 of this year's NFL draft are hoping they made the right choice and that the player they selected will be a franchise cornerstone for years to come. And that brings us to the topic of today's video, as we will discuss how each of the top 10 players selected in the first round of the 2020 draft will do in their rookie season, what to be expected of them, and how they can build on this year moving forward. But before we get started, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, as all support is very much appreciated. Now let's begin. We're going in orders of picks 10 through 1, so we're starting off here with the Browns selection of offensive tackle Jedrick Wills. Jedrick's success from the public eye will be looked at based on how the team does. Unless he is a Joe Thomas type perennial all-pro, then his success will be looked at from casual fans based on how well the skill position players on the Browns do. His success will be determined by, in large part, to how Baker Mayfield does or how many yards Nick Chubb averages per carry. He is going to a good situation in Cleveland, as he will get to learn from newly acquired tackle Jack Conklin about how to become a pro and really pick his brain about how to become a successful offensive tackle. Jedrick was a steal at pick number 10, and if he plays a big part in keeping Baker Mayfield upright and getting him back to the player he was in his rookie year, then he will be looked at as a successful draft pick. He will certainly have his hands full with playing in the same division as 2019 All-Pro TJ Watt and Ravens pass rusher Matt Judon. Going against Myles Garrett in practice certainly won't hurt his development either. Jedrick in 2020 should look to get his feet underneath him and focus on keeping Baker upright. If he can do that, then the Browns should have more success this year than last, as they have an absurd amount of weapons. Next, we go to Jacksonville for the 9th pick, and it was corner CJ Henderson. This is a tough player to project, especially in his rookie season, because corners take a longer time to develop than most other positions. There are exceptions, of course, but to expect CJ to come in and be a Pro Bowler and a first-team All-Pro in his rookie year, the way Patrick Peterson was in 2011, to me is not a reality. CJ's schedule in his rookie year got a lot easier, with DeAndre Hopkins being traded to Arizona, but that doesn't mean he'll translate immediately either. He will still have to go against players like AJ Brown, and twice for that matter, Devontae Adams, Kenny Golladay, Adam Thielen, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Keenan Allen. To be completely honest, if I were a Jags fan, I wouldn't be expecting to win a division title and to make a big playoff run in 2020 the way they did in 2017. Now, saying that, I would hope for CJ to get progressively better throughout the year, and as we said, he will certainly be facing tough competition. Former Jaguar Jalen Ramsey didn't make his first Pro Bowl until his second season, and if CJ can follow his route to success without any drama, then I think the Jags will be just fine with that. Next, we go to the desert, where the Cardinals took linebacker Isaiah Simmons. The Cardinals have been discussed a lot this offseason, but that's due to the offensive side of the ball, with the progression of second-year quarterback Kyler Murray and the newly acquired DeAndre Hopkins. However, Simmons in his own rights was a unanimous All-American at Clemson in 2019. He is a very good player and should come in immediately and help out a defense that gave up the 5th most points in the league in 2019. In 2020, we should expect Simmons to help a poor defense get better and ultimately give up less than the near 28 points per game they gave up last year. Statistically, he may not be as good as other rookies, such as ones we'll discuss later in this video, but the goal for Isaiah and the Cardinals is to give up less points in 2020 and for him to have a solid year that he can build on in the future. Statistically, it would look something similar to what Devin Bush did for Pittsburgh last year. Now we go to Carolina, where defensive tackle Derrick Brown was drafted. The Panthers gave up an insane 31 rushing touchdowns in 2019, which was the most in the league by far. They had to get better on the interior defensive line, and with this pick, they did. Brown, like Simmons, is another player that will make a big impact on the team. It just might not be in his personal statistics. The Jaguars gave up the second most rushing touchdowns in 2019 with 23, and even if the Panthers can trim their 31 touchdowns to 23, then that's a lot of extra points off the board there alone. They gave up over 5 yards per carry last year, and if Brown plays a big part in limiting both of these statistics, then that's a huge win for Carolina. We can never expect a defensive tackle to be the next Aaron Donald, but to expect Brown to help out the rushing defense and to help allow less than 5 yards per carry is certainly reasonable. Heading to Los Angeles for one of the shortest segments of the video. I don't expect Justin Herbert to start right away, and with that being said, his statistics will be very limited to Tua and Burrow, as they will each start from day one. A successful rookie season for Justin Herbert personally would be the Chargers to start out bad and then have him take over and finish with a near 500 record or even a 500 record down the stretch. A good rookie season would have Justin throwing anywhere from 12 to 18 touchdown passes while limiting his turnovers and showing good promise from a young quarterback. If he gets his chance, there are a lot of weapons for him on the team, so we should be comfortable with players like Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, and Hunter Henry pretty early on. But to expect Herbert to win the Rookie of the Year award to me right now, with Tyrod Taylor still being on the roster, just isn't a reality. Now to discuss Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. Tua will be starting from day one, and he has solid weapons around him. He will be throwing to players like Devontae Parker, Mike Gesicki, and Albert Wilson. He will also be tested a lot his rookie season, as the Dolphins will be playing the reigning Defensive Player of the Year twice in Stephon Gilmore and the Bills, who finished second to only New England in points given up in 2019. Now saying that, I think Tua can realistically lead the Dolphins to a minimum 7-win season, as they improved a lot this offseason, and not just through the draft, as they acquired a lot of key free agents. But for Tua's sake and his personal expectations, I think Tua can throw for at least 20 touchdown passes and run for a few scores as well. Rookie of the Year isn't out of the question for him. I think for the first time in years, the Dolphins' future genuinely looks bright, and I hope Tua stays healthy throughout his NFL career. Next, we go to the Big Apple for the 4th pick, offensive tackle Andrew Thomas. Andrew is a lot like Jedrick Wills, and his success will be associated with team success unless he is astronomically good or flat out awful. A big part in Andrew's rookie season will be to protect franchise quarterback and running back Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. Saquon had a bit of a sophomore slump due in large part to injury, but he needs to get back on track in year 3. He rushed for nearly half a yard less per carry in 2019 than he did in 2018, and if Thomas can help him get back at 5 yards per carry this year, then the Giants will be set up for success. Likewise, if Daniel Jones builds on a good rookie season and stays healthy while not getting sacked a whole lot, then Thomas will look like a solid pick. The Giants need to protect Jones and Barkley, and this was a good selection. He has a very high floor, and he will be tested early in a division full of pass rushers. Next is Jeff Okudah to the Lions. Okudah was the highest drafted corner in years, and for good reason. He was an elite prospect and should step in from day one and be a true number 1 corner. There will be a little bit of an adjustment period for Okudah, don't get me wrong, but he should be a multiple-time Pro Bowler in his NFL career. But for his rookie season specifically, Okudah should be close to dominant by season's end. He will be tested early and often, as he has Adam Thielen, Devontae Adams, and Allen Robinson all in his own division. Those 3 receivers are all very good in their own rights, and ultimately iron sharpens iron, so Okudah may get beat a few times by those guys, but he will get his in some of those battles as well. I would expect Okudah to use weeks 1 through 5 as a major learning curve, but by season's end to be a Pro Bowl caliber player. He was selected that high for a reason, and he is that good. Now we have defensive end Chase Young. The Redskins have the best defensive line of football now, due in large part to this addition. Chase was too good of a prospect to pass up, and the Redskins capitalized with him on the board. His success in his rookie season may not be the best statistically, and here's why. One player, whether it be him, Daron Payne, Jonathan Allen, or Montez Sweat, will get double teamed at all times on that defensive line. If more often than not it is Chase Young, then his stats, more so sack numbers, will inevitably not look that good. Regardless, every NFL coach knows before he takes a snap that he is a force to be reckoned with, and he will not be taken lightly. For this year alone, I don't doubt Chase Young has 10 sacks, but after his rookie season, I fully expect him to be a double-digit sack player every year. He's one of the best prospects in a long time, and he is my prediction for Defensive Rookie of the Year. And finally, the number 1 overall pick, Joe Burrow. Joe is expected to lead Cincinnati to at least a Super Bowl title during his tenure as a Bengal. They haven't had a playoff win since 1990, and Joe is certainly expected to change that. He will have both AJ Green and T. Higgins to throw the ball to, and should translate to the NFL quicker than most rookies do. He will turn 24 during his rookie season, and that's a big reason I think he progresses faster than most rookies normally do. A successful rookie season for Joe would be to throw at least 20 touchdown passes and to lead Cincinnati to 6 to 8 wins. A division title should not be expected in year number 1 with the division they are in. A successful 2020 for Burrow would be to lead the Bengals to a much better record than what they had last year and establishing chemistry early and often with wide receiver T. Higgins. Those two could be the next big quarterback wide receiver duo, and I truly can't wait to watch those two on the field together. The culmination for Burrow's rookie season would be the Rookie of the Year award. And now that's all I have for today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please like the video, it helps a ton. And if you're still watching, I appreciate the time out of your day. Please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day.